I remember the day everything changed like it was yesterday, even though it's been years. I was sitting in that cramped courtroom, clutching my evidence, my heart pounding like a drum, when the judge looked at me with cold eyes and dismissed everything I'd spent years fighting for. Not just dismissed, ridiculed. She called my evidence impractical, naïve, and basically told me I was wasting everyone's time. The room went dead silent when she pronounced her verdict, but what echoed louder in my mind was the sound of my family's scoffs afterward, their cruel whispers that I'd never amount to anything. They mocked me, called me a dreamer, said I was an embarrassment to the family because I dared to believe I could change the world. That day was a crushing blow. I've been battered with rejection, betrayed by the court I'd trusted to uphold justice. And yet, beneath the shame, something ignited. I couldn't let this be the end. I couldn't let their ridicule define me. So, I turned away from the courtroom, from the system that had failed me, and I turned inward to the one thing I knew could heal the damage I'd seen around me. The land beneath my feet, the soil that begged for life. I threw myself into urban permaculture, into ecological restoration. I started small. A tiny patch of cracked concrete behind my apartment, a few seedlings I coaxed to life with trembling hands. But I wasn't just gardening. I was dreaming of transforming entire city blocks into living, breathing ecosystems. My family's laughter haunted me for a while, calling it hobby gardening, a foolish obsession, a waste of time for someone who'd never make a difference. They told me I was chasing a pipe dream, that I was fooling myself into believing I could change anything. They had no idea what I was building, no idea how each tiny sprout, each micro-ecosystem I curated was whispering a different story, one of resilience, hope, and rebirth. For years, I faced ridicule, skepticism, and setbacks that nearly broke me. My soil was stolen, my efforts mocked, my ideas dismissed as trendy nonsense. But I kept going, driven by a stubborn belief that nature's power was greater than any courtroom or cynic's derision. And then everything shifted. Over a decade, that once barren corner grew into a lush oasis, bursting with native plants, pollinators, and microforests that cleaned polluted soil and brought life back to neglected spaces. I learned to harness micro-ecosystems, to cultivate city-grown food, empower communities, and restore ecosystems that had been written off as lost causes. Cities began to listen. Governments approached me, universities collaborated with me, and suddenly I was invited to speak at conferences, to share the blueprint of what I'd built. When I finally returned home after all those years of struggle and triumph, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted my family, those who had mocked and doubted, to see the truth with their own eyes, to witness how my hobby, once dismissed as foolish, had become a movement transforming urban landscapes. I parked my car outside the house, a familiar door that once felt like a barrier, and stepped inside with a quiet confidence I'd fought hard to earn. The familiar faces of my family members stood frozen in disbelief when they saw me walk through that door. Not the broken person they'd thought I was, but someone who had turned mockery into mastery, failure into triumph. But I didn't reveal everything right away. I led them into the backyard. I watched their eyes widen, their mouths part in silent shock as they took in the sight before them. A once bleak backyard, now a thriving microforest. Trees I'd planted years ago, now towering and green. Native wildflowers blooming in every corner. Bees and butterflies dancing amidst the blossoms. The soil was rich and dark, teeming with life, a testament to years of patience and unwavering faith. And then I turned to them, my voice steady but charged with emotion. This is what I've been working on all these years. This is what your laughter tried to dismiss as foolishness. It's not just about plants or soil. It's about resilience. It's about proving that even in the worst conditions, life finds a way. That's what I've become, a builder of ecosystems, a creator of hope. For a long moment, silence hung thick as my family stared, uncomprehending. And then, one by one, their expressions changed. Guilt flickered across their faces, shame for their years of doubt. My mother's eyes shimmered with tears she wouldn't let fall. My father looked away, struggling to find words. But I didn't need their apologies. I only needed them to see what had been possible all along, the power of perseverance, belief, and the unbreakable resilience of life itself. That day, I understood a profound truth. They had tried to break me with their words, but I had used their doubts as fuel. I had turned their ridicule into a radical act of hope. I had transformed failure into a blueprint for change. And in that moment, standing amid the green that had once only been a dream, I realized that I wasn't just changing landscapes. I was rewriting my story, and theirs too. They had judged me as foolish, but I had become a testament to the fact that sometimes the most unlikely seeds grow into the mightiest forests. Their faces told me everything I needed to know. That the greatest victory isn't just the ecosystems I've built, but the truth I've shown them. That resilience, persistence, and faith in the impossible can turn even the bleakest soil into a sanctuary of life. And that's the real triumph. Because I know now, beyond any courtroom, beyond their ridicule, that I was never the fool. I was just planting the seeds of silence, waiting for the right moment to bloom. And when I did, I didn't just grow a forest. I grew a new understanding of what it means to believe in something bigger than ourselves. And isn't that what we all need? To believe, to persist, and to see our roots finally bear fruit?